Alright guys, welcome back. This is battle replay number 4. Look at these. The French cavalry marching forward, trotting forward. Yeah, welcome. This is the Siberian here, and I am playing as the French. And this time I'm going up against Blake R., another member of the community. So yeah, I'll just, you know the routine. I'll walk you through my army composition, and once we can see his, I'll walk you through his. So yeah, let's dive into it. I brought a lot of line infantry. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So 8 line infantry, and these elite infantry that France gets early on. Along with that, I have 2 light infantry, 1 here, 1 here, 3 units of howitzers, so 1, 2, and then the third one here on the left flank. I have 2 regiment of these like provincial cavalry for France. Here's 1 here. Oh, and the other is running forward. That's where I started. So I'm using this one to kind of scout. Excuse me. And then I have a dragoon on this side. So that's pretty much my army composition. I did this because I am going up against Sweden. This is like the first time I fought against Sweden and not as Sweden when it's controlled by a player. Yeah, so I'll kick it into gear once we see his troops. I'll lay it out. But as far as strategy goes, this side has a definitely defensive advantage because, I mean, look at those hills. So I knew he was probably gonna defend. That's whoever's on this side usually plays defensive because you have such a good bonus of these hills. And most defensive players really like this hill because it's big, it's anchored with an impassable zone, and that's where I thought he was gonna be. And I thought this might be a distraction or kind of faking me out here, but it turns out I was definitely wrong, as we will see. So because of that, here, I'll run through my quick strategy. It's the same kind of strategy I did with Julius Caesar on this map, but let's see, where am I? Okay, let's get rid of those. So here's my condensed infantry, and the edge of the map is like right there or even closer. It might be like right there. And so my thinking is I'll skirt the edge of this map and then kind of line up here, get a good flank. I'm always about that flank, especially when they have hills. And that's what this unit of cav is doing, kind of scouting to make sure he doesn't have forces up here so that these infantry don't get ambushed. Also moving some artillery up to this hill to get some good bombardments in if he's over that way. And then this is my fixing force. So light infantry kind of as scouts. Let's get that more accurate. And just going straight ahead and looking for the enemy. I don't know exactly where the dragoons are, but they're somewhere over here. They're scouting my right flank. Oh, let's get that on there. This cavalry is my potential charging cavalry for late game. I'm kind of keeping them in reserve. Eventually I move up this light infantry. I don't know why I haven't yet. And I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to be defending, you know, back here along that ridge. Maybe along this ridge. But I was expecting this area to be defended. And so I was thinking, oh, I'll get a great flank and just You can't see that. I'll get a good flank. There we go. And come in that way. But as we'll see, he was much more forward than I expected. So that was a good battle plan on his part. We'll jump into the battle without further ado, and you can watch how it goes. Yeah, so it's been fun to try my hand at multiplayer against some other people. Also, this sky is beautiful, don't you think? So, anyone else wants to give it a shot, just message me on the Discord. I have fun playing multiplayer. And feel free to send in replays of single player battles if they're interesting as well. I can't guarantee I'll, review every single one, but here's my Dragoons. I can only get one unit as France, and they kind of get destroyed, as we will see. Alright, there go my other light infantry, so you can kind of see so far this cav hasn't run into anything, so I'm hopeful that all these troops will be able to sneak around this flank. Once again, I like the line of sight mechanic because I can get sneaky. And I'm thinking, I thought maybe Blakar had seen my previous battle replay where I went around this hill, so I thought maybe he would be defending this. Oh, look at, here's an artillery, and I saw his cavalry. I thought maybe he's not paying attention. I can get a sneaky shot. Look at that. They get, oof, yikes, look at that. Explosive shot. He charges his cavalry, and that's gonna be a bad combo. My cav is gonna, yeah, they broke super quick. But they were meant to be just scouts. I probably should have not charged them, but I wanted to keep his forces away from this infantry, which I'm now going to have to form up into lines. Alright, and so he moves forward his light infantry, and I was not paying attention, and these guys got shot, about 10 of them got shot by this light infantry. And I start to pull them back, and I'm like, wait, that's light infantry. And I try and charge them in, but in here is my light infantry, and his is moving towards the woods. Got it. Alright, here comes this charge, which ends up not going well for me. Got a good explosive shot. Dragoons really aren't very good in melee. They're meant to be, moved to a flank and dismounted. That's what they're good at. I'm trying to limit his use of this artillery, but it doesn't do that much. And yeah, his light infantry was able to shatter my Dragoons. So they will not be coming back. So Blakar's army, I don't see it till very late, but he goes with a mixture of light infantry, pikemen, and colonial line infantry, which is fascinating because Sweden's line infantry is really good but expensive. So I was expecting to have to fight this really good line infantry, and so that's why I brought so many of my own, is that I could get superior firepower. But he went a totally different route, which ended up being okay. I think pikemen are a little too weak in this mod. I don't know, I might have to tweak them for future renditions. So I moved up some regular line infantry to get a little more fire, because he was winning against my light infantry. And I have my artillery, I think, firing in on these guys. Meanwhile, I'm forming up on this flank slowly. And look at this, he's pushing out light infantry. Get a good little sneaky flank. And his mortars are bombarding my howitzers. They made them retreat. Scared them off. And I got this howitzer into action and was targeting his cav. It looks like I got quite a good hit. As my infantry pushes up. I think eventually I noticed he had some light infantry over here, and I moved this guy to intercept. Alright, we're starting to get, so here's some pikemen. And historically Sweden did use pikemen more, much later than all the other nations did. And he has one good pikeman charge in the mid to end where he actually damages my elite infantry very good, or very much. Lots of damage, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm moving up my light infantry to try and pick off these cannoneers. Oh, that's too much. Ooh, got a couple. Wasn't as good as it could have been, but I think that'll be enough to break them. Yeah. And with that, I'm gonna move forward my troops. I haven't found that yet. He is still bombarding these guys. They're shaken. Alright. What you can't see is right here he has all his colonial line infantry. I thought maybe they were just behind this ridge and I just couldn't see them. I wasn't sure. That's why I wasn't more aggressive with these cannons. Once again, I'm trying to push towards this flank. I kind of want to swing up here and make sure I can have the high ground. Let's look at, here's some of his company infantry. Those dashing hats. And there's the colonials. These mortars are very expensive, but I'm sure they got a lot of kills. So these guys are holding on under the infantry fire. And I am starting to pick off these pikemen. Ooh, which broke. These horses are a threat to my flank. But, oh yeah, here we go. I noticed these guys running for these woods and I'm like, nuh-uh. And so I start moving them. I was gonna move them real close and fire at point blank. I'm like, I'm probably not gonna outshoot light infantry, so I end up charging them. Getting some good shots on my troops. This is pretty long range though, so they'll definitely win. Ooh. Yeah. They are winning though in that combat, so I start to charge them and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna do plug bayonets. So I think they stop here. Or maybe I do it once they get all the way there. definitely take losses on this charge though. But I make up for it once we reach, because light infantry doesn't stand up to line infantry in melee. Yeah, we'll stick around for a little bit. They're down to 120, 250. They're holding their own though, and I think that started to worry me. So I fixed bayonets at some point. Probably didn't need to, but maybe I didn't. Thought I hit the button, but maybe that didn't show the animation. So we broke that light infantry on this flank, still trying to finish off this, and they are taking heavy losses. Look at that. Oh, and a pikeman charge. Oh, they broke before they got there. This one reached it, but wasn't able to hold on. And his cavalry did a good charge while I wasn't paying attention, and got a lot of kills on this unit. But I managed to form square, and that broke them. And so now I'm starting to advance on this flank, pushing hard on his heels. I'm moving up my howitzer so I can reach this. I couldn't shoot that before. This one is unable to move because it was because they routed. So it's gonna have to shoot targets it can reach. And there's the victorious troops. Okay, some of them have the bayonets. They only put them in if they aren't in combat in the moment when you click it. So these guys, I think I forgot about them here, and they don't unlimber, and then they end up retreating because this mortar is really effective at getting my troops to rout. Meanwhile, over here I'm moving my elite infantry and that wounded line infantry up around. I'm hoping to swing up this hill. He charges another pikeman. I think if he had consolidated his pikemen into a good solid punch, I might have actually been broken by them, but they take too many losses while they're charging forward. And these are professional troops, because they're line infantry. Alright, I'm moving up my other light infantry. We finally pushed back this one after a ton of losses. And gonna try and snipe more of these guys. They're down to 13, but they aren't dying quick enough for my taste, you know? They're holding on to that ridge too well. Alright, this line infantry is forming up, and then it's gonna march up the hill. Yep. I start moving this one forward, thinking I can get a flanking charge on this light infantry, and moving up my line infantries. Trying to wear that down. So this is where... I guess that's pikemen. I don't know, if you have line infantry in this area that's just holding a defensive position, I would move it up to where it can shoot down or something. Just so, otherwise it's just holding a position that's gonna sit there for a long time. Although it does keep them fresh. So, alright. I decide to move these guys down, form them up, and march my elites right up the hill. Then I can form up and sweep down, is what I was thinking. We'll watch some of the line battle. So we are losing a little bit here. Probably a combination of the cannons and switches. Ooh, that was a good explosion. Looks like it didn't get that many. I have noticed that mortars are better at long range. Their optimal range is probably in here somewhere. Alright, so this is where I'm like, that cannon is exposed, so I shifted my light infantry apart to give myself a gap. And I charged these guys up the hill because I'm tired of these artillery holding my center at bay, because I have a unit here and these two units that could definitely be doing more. So we'll follow. Oh, I tried to make them wider, so if canister hits, it won't be quite as devastating. They charge up the hill. It's a tough charge, but it's worth it. And just enough to shatter that, and then I pull them back because they're gonna take fire. So that was a very successful cav movement for me, and now I can move up my light infantry. Actually, I moved one over here to help against his light infantry because I do have it surrounded, but it definitely can chew up my infantry. Alright, so he has some colonials right there, but my line infantry these are the elite line infantry, so I think I'll be able to take those guys on. They're tired. So it happens when you march all the way across the map. Ooh, he's lobbing his artillery up. He got a couple kills, but that's a tough spot to hit. Yeah, so like this line infantry, I might have done something different because there's no threat to this flank right now. Alright, let's see this charge. I wasn't even paying attention to this. I looked over at a later point and they were in melee already. Oh, it's gonna be brutal. I didn't get as many kills as it might have. But my troops have the height advantage. I think we should be able to win that easily enough. And I'm curling back this flank, getting my other troops. Once again, it's another fishhook. It seems to be my go-to formation. These guys have the bayonets in, so I can't shoot with them. So I'm holding them back as a reserve. And these guys routed, but they reformed, and I don't think he realized it. Which is a bummer, because they're going to get friendly fire. Which you never like to see. So he's got his pikemen over here, and his regular line infantry, so this was his strong flank, and I happened to hit his weak flank, it looks like. Which is lucky for me. Now I defeated that colonials. I think I sweep down this hill, but I get stymied by some counterattacking pikemen. And there we are, we took the cannons finally. That was a tough, and I think I left these guys off of fire at will because I put them on that while they were, while the horses were charging, because I didn't want to shoot the horses in the back. But and then I forgot to turn it back on, so they were just standing there. but we're still managing to push back his light infantry on this flank. And overall, things are looking good for me. This is a really good move for me. This is fortunate that I was able to get my elites over here. This is a smart move. I'm in the process, sorry about the plane. I'm in the process of transitioning my troops to, if he can get his pikemen up the hill, they're fresh. My guys are tired. Or they're winded, and my guys are tired. But I think I form up just in time. First volley didn't do any. Second, now I'm starting to get some kills in there. Yeah. Still, these pikemen do a really good job. I think this double wave is a really smart idea. If the first can reach it without breaking, the second will be a powerful force. It's hard to counter. And I think I fixed bayonets with my elites, so that I think they would have broken otherwise. This is a really good move. I just barely counter it by fixing bayonets, and those are my elite troops. I don't even know if these guys can hit anything, but they're firing. Moving up more line infantry. What's happening on the light infantry front? Looks like he's got his troops in the forest there. That's a good move. Trying to take out some mortars. Looks like it's actually working fairly well. Wavering. These have been a pain for my troops. I think they broke my howitzers here. And they're routing off the map. These howitzers are now trying to go for it. And look at this brawl going on. He outnumbers me, and look at it, I'm down to 196. So we're a third of my troops. Even though they're winning, it definitely hurt, because those are my elite troops. I was hoping I could break his whole formation with that. And this is one thing, the bullets, you can't necessarily see it, but the bullets travel high in general. So having your general too close behind your infantry will mean he'll get stray shots. And I think that's what happened here. Which is unfortunate, because that lowers the morale of your whole force. See, now they're only confident. Eager. Confident. Shaken. These guys are suffering some serious casualties. I have 1, 2. I think just 2. It's a 2-on-1, but still, that's enough to cause some serious pain. Looks like he took out one of my howitzers here. Now I'm targeting artillery, and that's what breaks him. My poor Swedish fellows, all dead on the battlefield. Oh, and there was 3 units here that were shooting on this one, but I moved one to support my line infantry, which broke the pikemen. I think if I had had any other unit here, these guys would have shattered, but I managed the miracle of breaking his pikemen, and so I'm pushing these guys forward to take out those mortars. He rashly, I think, a little bit charges his company infantry forward, which I get it. It's kind of the end of the round, but this is a good move though. He about faces his infantry, fixes bayonets, and charges up, and they start tearing into my elite infantry, because these are regular line with bayonets. They're still active, and it doesn't go well for my troops in the long run. 158 to 295. Yeah, that's not going to be a good. But I have the numbers. And sometimes this game can just be a numbers game. So yeah, this is where I think the tide turns. He has still this unit. My line infantry ran out of bullets, so I have them fix bayonets, and then I charge them forward. And I think I have the whole group here charge these line infantry because they were really hurting my elites. Even with troops up here firing down on them. Look at that. I'm down to 106. His general did recover, that's good. And his cannoneers. Yeah, here come the rest of the infantry to support. And this is gonna be just about the end of the battle. He has some light infantry running away. I eventually catch them. We'll watch the final stand of the Swedes. Ooh, look at that. They're pushing. Oh. Alright, new opponent. Come on, kill somebody. Oh, no. That guy died. Oh, stabbed. But now they're getting attacked from all sides. And they break. That was a valiant last stand. You really gave my unit some trouble. So he has one pikeman here and I think a light infantry here. And he had to step away from the game at this point, but kindly left it running. Oh, that's pretty. Kindly left it running so I could chase down those last units. And I sent my cavalry in general to take out the lights and fired in here. So that's pretty much it. Very interesting strategy. I quite enjoyed it. I think the balance just isn't quite good enough for pikemen for it to work as well as he had hoped. But there's some definite interesting ideas that could work. I think clumping up your pikemen and getting a good charge in, finding a place where you can charge it, they're not getting shot too much, is a good idea. But yeah, thanks for playing. That was a lot of fun. Look at that. They got a lot of kills, but they almost all died. And a lot of those kills come after they break a unit. They're not all in combat. So my line infantry did quite well on the whole. Curious how my howitzers did. So not that incredible, especially this one. But overall, great battle. Thanks, Blake R, for playing. We'll have to have another match sometime soon. And if you guys enjoy this, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps me out. And consider subscribing if you're not. Anyways, I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Bye.